Hi, so my video prior to this one was actually quite depressing, and I thought I'd make a video this time around that was a little bit more interesting. Currently I'm laying low. I really have a lot of free time on my hands. I'm unemployed, and if you watch my video before this one, it'll kind of explain why. So because of all the free time, I thought I could make, YouTube a little hobby of mine. I enjoy watching videos, and I really enjoy making videos. I just never really post them because I never really know if I'm gonna get much views, because I really haven't been getting a lot of views. But I don't know, I feel like the more products I make, the more feedback I'll get and viewers, I guess. Anyways, so for this video I'm going to be telling you all about my crazy paranormal experiences, which I've had quite a few, which is kind of sad to say. I really don't experience anything like that anymore because I've kind of don't think about it, because I've grown up with weird shit, creepy shit happening and surrounding me, and I've always been kind of interested in weird, creepy shit, and I felt like that's why it was still this stuff was still happening. But once I started to get interested in other things and other hobbies and other, just interest overall, the weird shit stopped happening. So yeah, I definitely think I moved that energy in a different direction. So yeah, like I said, I've had a lot of things happen to me throughout the years. The first story I'm going to tell you is when it all kind of started. So I was around 3 or 4 years old, living in San Antonio with my mom and stepdad, and we lived in this apartment, and this was before my baby brother was born, so it was just me. Right off the bat, I could tell you I remember having strange dreams, and one of the ones that I can recall having, I was in this set up playroom area, right? And everything around me was just pitch dark, it was just pitch black, but on top was just a spotlight of me playing in this little kid area, and it was a kitchen setup. So I remember just playing in the little kitchen setup, and then all of a sudden the utensils, the knives and the spoons and everything, started floating up in the air. And I started floating up in the air, I was lying on my back floating up, and all I remember is the spoons starting to stab me and the knives starting to cut my fingers off in the air, and it was just horrific. So I remember waking up freaking the fuck out, and mom said that she constantly had to have me sleeping in the room with her and my stepdad because I'd probably have a nightmare almost every night. I don't quite remember all of them, but I remember that was one of them, and it just stuck out to me, and it's something that I still don't forget because I really feel like it was just so creepy as a child to have something that's so demented happen to you in a dream. I don't know. Well, anyways, another thing that had happened was a lot of bad things were happening to me specifically in that house. For instance, I remember one day I was eating a chocolate glazed donut, and I was looking in the mirror watching my parents get ready for work, right? And as I'm looking in the mirror eating this chocolate glazed donut, I have hives literally spreading all down my neck and my chest and my body. I just break out from eating this chocolate glazed donut, and mind you, I'm not allergic to chocolate to this day. I have really no food allergy, so it was really strange why I just kind of broke out like that. I don't really remember if my parents took me to the doctor or not. I think my mom started rubbing Benadryl cream all over me. But that was one of the things that happened that was pretty random. Another thing is, I remember drinking some orange juice, and you're a kid, you drink juices all the time. Nothing ever affected me before like this, but I was drinking orange juice, and all of a sudden I just started puking an endless amount of just fucking orange juice all over my parents' bed. That's it. I didn't eat anything, there was nothing wrong with me, I just started puking endlessly orange juice all over the bed. It was weird, and the amount of it was even stranger. The fact that I was puking that much from just drinking a few sips of orange juice was strange. And then one of the more severe things that had happened to me was I had ate like a hard piece of like mint candy, and I started choking on it. And like I remember like my stepdad physically like beating the shit out of my back so like he could try to like, you know, knock it out of my throat, and I think he ended up doing it, and that was fucking insane. Like that literally could have killed me. Another thing that was kind of weird that happened was I was taking a nap in the living room one day, and something like in the back of my head like told me to go to the kitchen, grab 2 eggs, put them under my pillow, and go to sleep. So I did that, and I remember waking up to my mom yelling at me because there's like a big mess of egg yolk like everywhere, and you know, getting upset with me. And I know as a kid that's probably kind of normal for you to do because like I don't know, you do weird stupid shit when you're a kid, but this was actually quite like strange, because I remember specifically like almost being like hypnotized to do it. Like something was like literally telling me to do it. It wasn't just like something that I wanted to do like for fun. I don't know. But a lot of strange things happened there, and I remember our cat even ended up dying in that house. So something was definitely evil, like, and it was lurking all up in there. What's crazy is as I got older and I asked more questions about it, my mom said like right before we moved she had gotten a dream of this older woman telling her to get the fuck out of her house and showing how she was murdered in it, and like not soon after we got the fuck up and left. So that's kind of where all the scary stuff started happening. We moved into a different apartment, and my younger brother had just been born. We were living in Austin at this point, and we had actually got the master bedroom. So there was a bathroom. The room was really big, and like there was a big grand window at the end of the room, and half of it was painted pink, half of it was painted blue. So my baby brother was in, you know, a little crib on the blue side, and I was in like a little bed on the pink side, and it was really cute. It was an awesome setup. Well, one night, you know, I have always had like a really hard time sleeping, and I think it really started from that night because I was just paranoid something was gonna happen to me. One night I started trying to go to sleep, but I was still up, and we had like this little angel nightlight at the end of the room plugged into the wall, and all of a sudden like this little thing, I don't know how to explain it. The best I can explain it was like it looked like a mini Grim Reaper. It had like the cloak, but it wasn't black, and it didn't have like that little knife thing. It was literally just like a little white blue cloak, and like you couldn't see its face, but its hands were like in its pocket. It was like this small, and it came out of the little angel nightlight. Like I shit you not, I still remember this to this day because it freaked me the fuck out. It came out of this little angel nightlight, and it started like floating towards my little brother's crib. So I got a pillow and I threw it at it, and I said, get the fuck out of here, like what are you doing, what do you want? And like it literally like flew through this person or this thing, and I just sat there in like shock and like fear. And I remember just getting up and running to my mom and dad's room, and just like, I don't know, something about going in the room, something like took over my body, and I just fell asleep. Like I was just out. And like to this day, I feel like that wasn't necessarily anything that corresponded with anything like evil. I feel like if anything, it was like maybe like a guardian angel, because it wasn't like harmful, and it didn't come off as harmful. It was just seeing something so out of the ordinary at such a young age, and going through what I had gone through in the house before that was just a little weird to me. So yeah. Another thing is I remember being in like the closet, because it was a pretty big closet, and there was like a lot of these little play books and like coloring books I'd play with inside that closet in that house, and I'd always see like really strange shadows like on the walls, like, and it'd be like shaped as like a human, one would be shaped as like a demon looking thing. Like it was so fucking weird. Like I remember that. I remember telling my mom about it, like, Mom, there's like shadows, like it's weird, there's shadows, like I don't know. So like eventually, like I got older and we moved into a house that they started building, and I really don't remember if anything happened after those two instances, but I remember when we got to this house, you would come in my room and it literally be ice cold. Like out of every room, you'd come in my room during nighttime and it'd be ice freaking cold. No explanation, no reason why, just cold. And then I remember starting to have dreams about like UFOs, and this is kind of crazy because I actually have a very big fear of aliens after watching The Fourth Kind when I was like younger. Like they just freaked me out. Well, one night I was like in this instance where like I was dreaming but I was still awake. Like I don't know, it was like a weird mid-haven of the two. Like I was aware but I wasn't aware of what was going on. Like, and I knew I was going to be getting up to school soon. Like it was strange. I was dreaming and I was looking outside my window of this room right here to the left of me, and I saw in the distance like a UFO, and like something from the UFO was like dragging me, like something, like my body was like being pulled, and like I was trying to escape like this force, and no matter how much I like screamed and tried to move, I could barely, like with all my effort and might, like really move a muscle. It was so fucking weird, and it was like I was almost trapped, and it was like forcing me to like be floated to this UFO outside my window. It was so crazy. And I remember just like trying to wake up, knowing I was asleep, trying to wake up. I think it was like lucid dreaming or something, but I was like fighting my way out of this, and like I woke up, I looked at my clock, and like the vibe was so different. Like the energy, like I knew I was safe. I knew it was just like a weird dream. Like I knew I was, it like when I was in the room in this dream, it just felt off. Something felt like it was in the room with me. Something felt like it was pulling me. Like my energy was just so, it was just weird. It just gave off a really dark vibe. So when I had woken up, I like the sense of relief just drowned over me, and like all of a sudden I was super tired again, and I was like, but like at this point I felt comfortable to go back to sleep. I don't know, I just felt like I was safe, like I was okay. So like I went back to sleep, and I ended up like missing school the next day because like I don't know, it was so strange because it felt like me like trying to fight to like get away from this like literally drained my whole body because I was so like tired and exhausted for the whole day. And like to this day I think it's the strangest thing ever because like I had slept perfectly fine that whole night. It was just that weird morning instance where like I don't know, something literally drained me dry. Like my whole energy was just, I just felt so weak. And I remember like even when I went to school the day after that, like it was weird. I felt really off. And that scared me for a while because after that I kept having like the same dreams of like me being trying to like somebody trying to like take me to a UFO, or like me being dragged and me not wanting to go and me literally fighting and using all my energy trying to get away, and then waking up feeling a different vibe of energy, getting really exhausted and just passing out and having like no sense of motivation, no sense of really anything, just wanting to be like completely bedridden. Like it was so bad, and I actually missed a lot of school because of it. And it was something that happened like literally I want to say like every 3 months because I started calculating it. It was so strange. It doesn't happen anymore, but it did happen for a while there, and I was like convinced that there was aliens watching me and trying to take me like to the fucking UFO and take me to the mother planet. Like I was really creeped out for a long time. I started, you know, coming home some nights pretty late. I don't remember why I'd be by myself, but sometimes I'd be by myself, and like, you know, my house is 2 stories, so I'd start hearing things upstairs randomly, and like I didn't think anything of it because we have 2 cats, and I just assumed, you know, cats make a lot of noises and do a lot of stupid shit, that they were just messing around upstairs. Well, I'd hear all this weird shit, and like I'd go up there and I'd find my cats like sleeping on my bed or sleeping on my brother's bed, or just like, I don't know, really just sleeping. They weren't getting up or moving or anything, and it literally would sound like somebody was like upstairs running around, going through stuff. Like, I was just so convinced that it was my cat, so I would just like brush off. I was like, you know what, it's my cats, like it's no big deal. And I really try to keep my calm, keep my like composure, keep the idea that nothing was upstairs like freak me out, because you know, when you play tricks on your mind, it just makes things so much more worse, and when you're by yourself it's even more worse. So like then I heard a door slam upstairs when I was downstairs by myself, because I had went up to like investigate and I went back downstairs, and then I heard a door slam, and I ran out of the house. I couldn't get a hold of my parents for some reason. I don't know why, but I remember calling my best friend and telling her, like, there's something in my house. It's going through my shit upstairs. Like, somebody just broke in, like, and, like, it was crazy. And she was like, oh my god, calm down, like, it's gonna be okay. Like, have you got a hold of your mom? I was like, no, I don't know where the fuck she's at. I can't believe she's leaving her only daughter here alone. Like, I was so dramatic, but I was just really fucking scared. Like, anyways, one year, sometime after this, I remember my mom, my brother, and like everybody was downstairs, right? And I was upstairs. Now, I didn't really know my dad was downstairs, and I'm gonna tell you this, and this is why. Because I was in my room and I was going back and forth from the bathroom to my room because I was like putting makeup on and getting ready and stuff, right? Well, from the corner of my eye, I see what I had thought had been my dad in the office, rummaging through like the closet, looking through like pictures and books and stuff, and like moving things like around, like, and I just, like, I saw a man doing these things in the room, and I didn't think anything of it because I thought it was my dad. And so, you know, they're rummaging through things and I'm like seeing them, and then all of a sudden I felt kind of strange, like something felt a little weird. And I looked to my left and I'm still hearing someone, and I still see someone from the corner of my eye like moving things around. But once I look into the room, nobody's there. Like, it's completely like silent. Like, and there's nothing that, all the things that I thought were moving around the room, it was a clean, like, and I looked in the closet and everything was just like set together perfectly, like nothing was even messed with. I go downstairs and I find my mom cooking, and then I find my dad in the backyard doing yard work, and my brother playing video games downstairs. I was mortified. I couldn't believe that I had like, I didn't even understand. Like, it couldn't have been anybody, like, and it couldn't have escaped, because like once I looked, they just were gone. Like, it was so fucking weird. I think that was like the last thing that kind of happened to me. There was more small instances of things that happened all in between these stories, but those were like the more significant ones where I actually like saw and felt stuff. But after that, like I said, I kind of changed my energy and my interest to a different, to different things, because I didn't want this stuff to follow me anymore. Like, I just didn't want the weird, odd, unexplainable events happening to me anymore. I didn't want to live that kind of life. So everything has actually cooled off since then. I don't really have any issues anymore. I can sleep like a fucking baby. I don't hear noises. I don't see things. I don't have like strange dreams. But I still think about those things that happen, and it still gives me like the chills. But yeah, those are my unexplainable, crazy paranormal stories, and I hope you guys enjoyed them. Hopefully they didn't scare you too much, because I know they scared me a lot more because I actually had to live through it. But yeah, thanks for watching.